Good morning, YouTube. All right, let me show you how to make one of the most delicious garlic and herb stuffed top round roasts. Ooh, I said that. That you will ever find. I love top round. It's next to nothing and you can cook it fast and it takes no effort, but it's all the delicious of every kind of roast beef if you ever wanted. All right, let's cook, y'all. We got a family to feed. All right, we are making dinner. I'm going to need that in a minute. I've got ingredients for like 6 dishes out, so please forgive my clutter. All right, so we have an eye of round roast, and I love these things. I think these are the best. I think I did my first eye of round roast video 13 years ago. I mean, it's been a while. I do a lot of these. So let me show you why I like this so much and what I like to do with mine. Okay, so this is a relatively inexpensive cut. This is nearly 6 pounds and it was about $25, which in today's market, that's great for beef. An eye of round comes from the leg. So down in here on the cow. Close enough. And it can be a relatively tough cut of meat. And here's why. There's not a whole lot of collagen or fat or marbling. Can you see that? Not much. Which means if you cook this incorrectly, it's going to be tough as old shoe leather. This is not a good candidate for like a medium well or well done. If you want to put it in a slow cooker, sure, that's fine. But you need to cook the fire out of it. Just cook it to death. Or go for medium rare, which is what I do. So you've got a middle ground here. If you want medium, you're going to be kissing the edge of tough. Don't go beyond that. Just pick a different cut. All right, about 4 tablespoons of butter. And you have to be careful with the butter because butter will burn in the oven. We've got our oven at 450 degrees. And if I go in there with just butter, then my butter will burn, the milk solids will burn, and it will get way too dark, which is not cool. Nobody likes that. So I've got some butter. And then I do have a whole handful of garlic cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no magic number with these. And I'm actually going to cut those in half. All right, so to this butter, we're going to add all kinds of stuff. So I've got about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then I have a tablespoon each of rosemary, thyme, and black pepper. And these are all dried herbs, by the way. Why do I use dried herbs? Because fresh herbs will burn, okay? And then I've got a good tablespoon of salt. And this butter was somewhat soft. We're just gonna mix it all up. We will not end up getting all of this butter, this herb butter, in there, which is fine because the rest of this herb butter that you don't use, put it on your rolls. It's so good. Ta-da! See? It smells good. You can smell the onion. And no, I didn't use garlic powder in this particular recipe because I use garlic powder in everything. I didn't do it in this one though. All right, take a sharp knife. That's not the one I wanted. Take a different sharp knife. And you're gonna poke holes in your roast, nice and deep. You're not gonna just kill it. Oop, I went too far on that one. But you do want a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Watch what I'm doing there. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. Who that is? Sorry about that. I got a call and it cut off my video and then it interrupted what I was saying and I lost count. Okay. So I poked a bunch of holes. All right. So here's our garlic. And here is what we're going to do with our herb butter. So you take a little dab of the herb butter. And that is going to go down in one of the holes that you poked. And you're going to follow that with a garlic clove. See? Just like that. It's a wee bit fiddly. It's well worth it. Don't freak out. And yes, this is garlic heavy. That's on purpose. Try to get what you can down in those holes. And this is part of what we're doing because this is a very lean cut of meat. Not tons of flavor because, I mean, it tastes good and beefy if you treat it right. But it's not like, whoops, it's not like a New York strip or a ribeye. That was a fat one. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of those, but I'm going to do them for the rest of them. I probably have, well, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's a lot of garlic. Okay, we missed this step because I didn't get the on button hit. But, okay, see this? Each one of those contains a little garlic clove. All right, and we have put this guy in here fat cap up. And the only other thing I did was I gave the exterior a sprinkle of olive oil and gave it a little massage. So now we're going to salt the exterior. And this is going to go in our 450 degree oven for right about an hour. I can't currently find my oven thermometer. I'm looking at 125 is what I want to hit. I absolutely don't want it to go above 135. This has been sitting out, coming up in temperature for about an hour, just, you know, sitting on the countertop, so that it wasn't quite as cold inside. But just from experience, I'm making a big fat guess, and we're going after 1 solid hour at 450 degrees. Keep an eye on it, because if your butter starts to burn, you do need to put a tent on it. Otherwise, it's kind of hands off. Okay, our buzzer's going off. We've had 1 hour. I don't think I said this, but this went for 20 minutes. Let's see, turn it off. Okay, it went for 20 minutes at the 450 degrees, and then I turned it down to 350 for the rest of the hour. And we're gonna look at it. I'm gonna show it to you. And we're gonna tent it. Yeah, I know. And then we're gonna talk about it real quick. Okay, so covering it with foil. Why are we doing this? Well, it hasn't finished cooking. It will continue to rise in temperature for probably 10 minutes or so. And then it needs another 10 minutes at least in order for those juices to redistribute, okay? Because what happens is when you, what happens when you start to cook a piece of meat is when it hits the heat, the juices go running to the exterior walls, I guess, of the meat. And then if you cut it right away, they just run out into your serving dish or wherever. So if you let it rest, the meat kind of just like, it chills out for a minute and the juices redistribute back through, okay? So we're gonna set 2 timers. One is for 10 minutes. At 10 minutes, I'm gonna take this out of its little pan because I want some of those drippings. There, our drippings are gonna run down to this side. So at 10 minutes, and then we're gonna continue to let it go until it's had at least 20 minutes total rest, probably closer to 30, okay? I know, it's hard. You just gotta deal with it. All right, so I moved our roast out of the roasting pan, and he's still sitting over here. He's got another 20 minutes to go, but that gives us a little bit of time. This is our roasting pan with the juices. And because it's on foil, you know, you can't just like go scrubbing at it. And there's not a ton of juices, but there's a little bit. And we can certainly capture that. We're gonna supplement it though, so it's fine. We are gonna make a quick gravy. It's not quite a jus. Jus means juice. And we don't have enough juices. But we can supplement this a bit, and we're gonna do that, okay? Now, I've got some cheap red wine. You gotta love wine with a screw top. This is made for hillbillies. That's perfect. All right, and then I'm gonna grab some beef broth. I don't have homemade, and I'm not gonna apologize. And let's see, this. All right, so, oh look, I knocked My camera cattywampus. Now, this has some fat in it, but not very much. Not a whole lot rendered off of that. All I'm doing is throwing silverware on the floor. Oh, okay, let me get a clean one. Try that again. All I'm doing is grabbing some cornstarch. That's a fat tablespoon. And then consider how much you love jus. We're kind of stupid about it. We love it. As far as we're concerned, that's half the point. When you first mix this up, it's going to get lumpy, and then give it a minute and it kind of chills, it relaxes. You know, you can't see what I'm doing. It chills and relaxes, and then if you let it sit anymore, it'll kind of settle to the bottom and get kind of lumpy again. Don't worry about it. Just mix it up. It gets fine. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 our drippings, of which there are not many. Let's call it a cup. It's probably a fat cup. All right, we're going to bring this up to a boil. We're going to let this simmer for a minute. I'm also going to add some beef broth. About a cup. And let me tell you a secret to working with canned broth and stock and stuff. Give it some herbiness. Now I have dried rosemary, just because that's what I have. And I have dried thyme. And that alone will make a world of difference with our beef broth. We have some juices, a little bit of salt, and I'm gonna get some black pepper. We have the juices in there from our roast, which automatically it's gonna improve the texture of our canned broth. But add some herbs to it and that red wine, and suddenly it's gonna taste closer to homemade. Let's check our roast. Nope, still happy. And that's still nice and hot. All right, so this is just going to come up to a boil. We're going to let it simmer, and we're going to let it simmer. There's 15 minutes left on our resting clock, so we're going to let this simmer for most of that time, okay? We'll finish this at the very last minute. All right, final countdown. Here we are. Okay, so our gravy slash jus right here. That's just been simmering. And I tasted it a minute ago. I think it needs a little bit of salt. So we're adding, stir it up, our cornstarch slurry. Put about half of it in there. That's going to make it nice and thick and glossy. And here's our roast. Where's my knife? My knife has walked off. Hang on. It didn't really walk off. I just never know where I've put stuff. We're going to let that continue to simmer. And as you're cutting, any juices that come off of your roast, you're ready to throw it right back in your pan right here, because you want to hang on to that stuff. That's the good stuff. All right. This smells incredible. Let's see. Just checking my thickness to see if I want to add more of our cornstarch slurry. All right, so our roast and our garlic. See, look, our garlic is popping up out of there. See him? He probably tastes delicious. I'm going to eat him in a minute. And this is all there is to it. See that? That makes me happy. I'm going to cut one more, because eventually you're going to come across a slice of garlic, right? Here we go. There we go. See? Look at that. Look how perfect that is. And look at how perfect the temperature is. Hang on. Let me show you. And you saw what we did, 450 for, what, 20 minutes? 30 minutes? Doesn't have to be super exact. Don't panic over your times. All right, now let's talk about our gravy real quick. It could be a little bit thicker. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I do have a small amount of juices that are collecting on my board, so I'm going to make sure I'm capturing those. And because I use those dried herbs, that's not a nice thing to feel when you're eating. Most of the time, I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, I'm like, leave the herbs in, nobody cares, make a wish. I've always told my children that if they find a piece of thyme or a bay leaf, they get to make a wish. So now they think it's good luck. But dried herbs in this situation, they're not lovely. So we got them out of there. Can't tell what plate I want. All right. This is our absolutely spectacular top round and our cheater jus. Oh, good Lord, y'all. That is so good. All right, I'm going to take pictures before I tell the boys that this is ready, because that is going to disappear.